Good afternoon and welcome to the virtual launch of the 2021 AIB Business Eye Awards. You're very welcome wherever you're joining us from. We're here live and unplugged at NIAVAC's amazing hybrid studio here in Belfast. And I'm joined in person by Brian Gillan, Head of Northern Ireland at AIB. And you're going to hear from Brian very shortly. We'll also be joined virtually in a little while by Dara McCarthy, founder and CEO of Fintrue, one of the more recent big winners at the AIB Business Eye Awards. Dara will be talking to us about how Fintrue has not only survived but continued to grow during the pandemic, and I hope about the value and the importance of awards like ours. Now, usually when we launch these awards, not a lot changes from year to year, but the same can't be said of this year. Instead, just about everything has changed. Under normal circumstances, we would have been launching the 15th annual AIB Business Eye Awards for 2020, and they would have been taking place next month in front of 700 or so guests. That plan obviously went pear-shaped some time ago. So now we've effectively ditched 2020, at least in terms of events, and we've shifted everything back well into 2021. Now, we have a date for you to put into your 2021 diaries, if you have one, and it's Thursday, the 13th of May, 2021, and our closing date for entries will be Friday, April the 9th. Now, this hasn't been a particularly good week for the economy, with the executive deciding on a blanket shutdown of hospitality, indoors and outdoors, from tomorrow. But as the First Minister says, it's not a lockdown or not a complete one, so maybe we should stop calling it that. Hospitality, to some extent, has been hung out to dry, but business in the wider sense can and will go on. We have to hope, we have to plan, and we have to try to keep the faith. And bear this in mind, our esteemed but less than optimistic Chief Medical Officer said not long ago in one of his brighter moments that Northern Ireland should be in a very different place come the spring. So we're hopeful as we can be, that we'll be able to welcome an audience to the AIB Business Eye Awards in May. And that's why we've decided to go ahead with this launch today. These are the longest established and the leading business awards in the Northern Ireland marketplace. Simple as that. There are a couple of other shows in town, but these are the awards that companies here want to win and want to have on display in their boardroom cabinets or wherever it is that they put them. On that note, we have a short video to remind you of the good old days when we could stand within smelling distance of each other, when we could shake hands, when we could hug and kiss, and when no one had heard of lockdowns, furlough or social distancing, and a circuit breaker was an electrical component. Let's take a look.
We're delighted to be involved with the awards and so impressed with the quality of the entries and can't wait to congratulate all the winners this evening.
Had the biggest entry we've ever had for the Business Eye Awards in 14 years of the awards history. What's more, with the biggest attendance we've had, upwards of 720 people in ICC Belfast this evening. So we're looking forward to what should be a wonderful evening.
We're really looking forward to these awards tonight. They have simply gone from strength to strength. All the great and the good from Northern Ireland business are here this evening, and we're going to have a fantastic evening. We're looking forward to it.
Absolutely flabbergasted, totally shocked, fantastic. The hair standing on the back of my neck when I heard my name got out. It's just a brilliant achievement for the family, myself, our business, all the different people that work for us. So I'm just so happy for us all that we have lifted this accolade tonight.
And there you go. Remember those days? That's what we're hoping to recreate when we eventually make it to the spring of 2021. Let me thank our main sponsors and partners. Brian Gillan is with me here in the studio, but I'd also like to thank Michelle Corbett, AIB's Head of Marketing, and all the members of the AIB team who are with us in spirit and online today. We really appreciate your support, and we appreciate the faith that you're putting in the Business Eye team to deliver these awards again on behalf of your brand. Can I also thank our category sponsors? We've got a lot of categories in these awards, 16 to be precise, and we have an impressive array of category sponsors on board already. And most of you, I think, are represented here today, at least virtually. So a sincere thank you for your support to Honeycomb, Davy, Visit Belfast, RSM, NIE Networks, the Community Foundation Northern Ireland, U105, Harbinton Mulholland, and Lockton. We really appreciate the fact that you've all committed to the awards despite all of the uncertainties out there, and more sponsors will be confirmed over the coming weeks and months. We have all of our established categories: Business Personality and Company of the Year, Employer of the Year, Manufacturer of the Year, and so the list goes on. But we're also adding a couple of categories to reflect the fact that we're living in the COVID era, and we really want to recognise companies and individuals who've risen up to and above the challenge of the pandemic. Now, we've been running business awards here in Northern Ireland in various shapes and forms for close to 20 years, going back to the old GoldenEye Technology Awards. So we see at first hand how much it means to businesses and business leaders to pick up these awards. It's not just the silverware. Of course, it's the effect on staff morale. It's a knock-on PR and marketing value. It's a little edge in a competitive world. It can be lots of different things. And we're going to hear a bit more about that shortly from Darren McCarthy of Fintru. Now, there's no doubt that businesses and the economy here has been hit hard by COVID-19. And this week's developments show that we're by no means out of the woods yet. I think everyone acknowledges now that we're in this for a longer haul than we all thought. At Business Eye, we've kept on publishing right through the pandemic. We've adapted. We've invested in our online offering. We've stayed positive and upbeat where other media definitely hasn't. We've been a vital source of business information, and we'll continue to serve and support the business community here. We know that businesses here are resilient, they're determined, and as AIB has highlighted, they're brave. The bank, as many of you will have noticed, has been running a business banking marketing campaign called Backing Brave, which really gets across the point very well. So it's crucial, really crucial, that we stay positive and that we have something to look forward to. And that, hopefully, is where we come in. Our message to all of you today is let's look forward to celebrating the very best of Northern Ireland business in the spring of 2021. And hopefully by then, we'll be in that very different place that Michael McBride talked about a few weeks ago. As I've said, we're delighted to be working once again with AIB on the 2021 awards. So let's hear from AIB's Head of Northern Ireland, Brian Gillan. Brian.
Thank you, Richard. Myself and colleagues at AIB are very proud to partner with Business Eye on these awards. It's an excellent platform to showcase and celebrate success, and in doing so encourage more organisations to prioritise growth, particularly in these difficult times. It's a pleasure to work alongside Richard, Brenda and Ciara at Business Eye. Working in media, they get to hear the best of the good and indeed the bad news, and they always manage to share insights that help us all navigate the current challenges. A key pillar of AIB's focus this year has been on supporting business to overcome adversity and grow. Backing brave business leaders has always been at the heart of our ethos, even before the pandemic hit. Yet it's been during this time that we've come across ever more inspiring and innovative stories of brave from local companies. Amidst all the recent troubling headlines, a report from the Office of National Statistics last week echoes our own experience with local firms, that we are a region of entrepreneurship and innovation. In fact, Northern Ireland has been ranked the 5th most entrepreneurial area in the UK by the ONS. It takes guts, originality, innovation, and above all, bravery to establish a business, and more so to grow it. And it's through awards like this that we can help shine a spotlight on the qualities business leaders need to have to succeed. The AIB Business Eye Awards are now in the 15th year. They are Ireland's leading and longest running business awards, and when we look at the past shortlisted companies and winners, it's easy to see why they have garnered so much prestige in that time. One such past winner joins us today. Dara McCarthy, CEO of Fintrue, whose firm won Employer of the Year and Fast Growth Business of the Year, and I look forward to hearing his take on business success shortly. As with everything else at the moment, this year's award are slightly different. While we were coming to you virtually right now, we can only hope the awards evening itself in spring next year could be in person or maybe some type of virtual hybrid. The categories themselves have also been updated to reflect the unique challenges businesses have had to face, from those who have had to pivot their offering to grow during COVID, and leaders who have gone above and beyond. The awards reflect all types of business heroes. While COVID has had a devastating impact, touching each of our lives in some way, we should take encouragement from the behavioural challenges and changes we've collectively made to protect ourselves. Together, we've demonstrated that in the face of an emergency, we could quickly adapt and roll out the necessary changes. We can and must do the same to continue to protect our jobs and our businesses, working together to harness the creativity and innovation mindset we are famed for to help the economy bounce back. The business community here also has a reputation for resilience. As we continue to face uncertain times, that resilience is going to be tested all the more as we face the double-pronged challenge of COVID recovery and the Brexit implementation. At AIB, we don't underestimate the challenges you and your peers face, but we know that by working together and supporting each other, we will be stronger. Where there are challenges, however, there is also opportunity. Our purpose is to back customers to achieve their dreams and ambitions. We adopt a partnership approach with our customers and commit to getting to know your strategy, your values, and your longer-term objectives. It's an approach that has stood us in good stead, and we have a proud history of delivering funding that supports businesses who are seeking to refinance, invest for expansion, or make acquisitions. This partnership approach also means that we can provide the financial structure that gives you the liquidity to grow and adapt to future market changes. We pride ourselves on having a strong and experienced team right across the province, with specialist industry knowledge and insight backed by a range of products and services to match individual requirements. We also want to help companies prepare for the unknown, especially around Brexit, either to mitigate against the risks it brings or to avail of the opportunities it may present. I would like to thank Business Eye again for organising today's virtual launch. I hope you all enjoyed the experience. Platforms like this act as an important showcase, a celebration of best practice, and an opportunity to network and share experiences. I encourage you all to enter the awards and help us spread the word over the coming weeks and months. Thank you.
Let today be a good day. Let me give it my all. Let the shutters up and the customers in. Let me learn to let go, to trust. Let me know when to pull back and when to push on. Let the staff know they're valued. It's great work. I couldn't do it without them. Let the kids know I'll be home for bedtime. Right. Let's take that risk. Let's really go for it now. Let's be proud of what we've done. Okay, let's get to work.
It takes a certain kind of brave to run a business. We see it, we back it.
Well, thank you, Brian, for your words today and for your support once again. As we mentioned a little earlier, we thought we'd get another perspective, both on business during the pandemic and on the subject of business awards. Fintrue, as I'm sure everyone with us today is aware, is one of the brightest stars of the Northern Ireland tech sector, working with the world's largest investment banks from its bases in Belfast and Derry. Although at the moment it's doing it from spare rooms, back bedrooms and kitchen tables all over the country. And remarkably, it has actually recruited 150 more people since the pandemic began back in February, bringing its total headcount to 600. So we're joined by Darragh McCarthy, Fintrue's founder and CEO. Darragh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Richard. As you can see, I'm masking my bedroom and kitchen table by nice Fintrue branded backgrounds. So
absolutely, I thought that was your wallpaper.
More professional.
Darragh, is it fair to say that Fintrue has had a good crisis? I'm sure it hasn't been without its challenges. How difficult were things back at the start of all of this?
So as you mentioned, we've been very fortunate through the crisis that our business has proved to be remarkably resilient, and we've had somewhat spectacular growth, as you alluded to. But clearly, it hasn't been without questions. And to put in context, we went from being a 100% work from the office environment, where everyone was in the offices. It was one of the ways we've managed to get some of these biggest investment banks in the world to trust us with their data and their information that it is secure. So we had to move really early March from 100% work from the office to 100% work from home. We didn't have particularly many laptops. We didn't have the facilities. So it really was all hands on deck for a couple of weeks to both get kind of approval from our clients that we could ultimately do it, but then also to make sure that our staff had the capabilities to work from home. But I'm delighted to say, after a Herculean effort, we transitioned from 0 to 100% work from home, and we haven't looked back since. And actually, working from home, as a lot of people know, has its challenges, but also has, if I'm honest, led to improved productivity, probably improved absenteeism, and actually, as a lot of people who've maybe had to commute love not commuting anymore. So it's a very interesting world we live in, Richard.
Yes, absolutely. How did you keep those people engaged, energized, if you like, and how did you look after them once the initial initial period was over?
So a lot of hard work, and I think, as you know, Richard, you've been a supporter and follower of the Fintrue story for many years, so you're well aware of. I think we put culture and looking after our employees at front and center of I guess our narrative and our journey. So everything we did in real life we had to recreate virtually, and that involved in recreating a lot of our sports and social activities. We had to move our summer party entirely from physical to virtually, where we were doing virtual cocktail making. We've moved a lot of our quizzes, our bingos to virtually. It's taking an awful lot of effort, but you know what? It's as with everything else, we're adapting to the problem, and we're trying to stay in touch with people. And if I'm honest, I think the good weather helped, because we were able to organize a lot of kind of fun runs and trying to raise money for charity and get out on your bike and get walking. I think that's going to be a bit more challenging in the coming winter months. So we've just launched a new program. Obviously, I love my branding, Bounce Through Winter, where we're going to come up with some efforts around good sleeping patterns, managing mental health, watching people's nutrition, because I think, unfortunately, we're in it for a long haul in this new working from home world.
Yeah. I know from talking to you before, Darragh, you got a very impressive academy system for training the new entrants coming into Fintrue, and presumably that's all online now. How well has that gone?
So our academy system has all moved online, Richard. So that has been, and again, I can only compliment our partners between UU, QUB, Belfast Met, and Northwest Regional, who deliver these academies for us under the Assured Skills program supported by DFE. We, over the course of 2020, have actually run 8 academies, which I think is nobody would have expected we'd be able to do that. Everything moved to virtually. So again, there was a whole logistical issue of getting people the appropriate IT kit, getting people the access to the systems. But you know what, we've been able to do it, and yet again, I never cease to be amazed at the resilience of the Northern Irish people. And when people want to do something, they can get something done. And I think Very much, I think Brian mentioned in his comments on AIB supporting entrepreneurs and business people who want to do stuff. Clearly, we've been very fortunate. A lot of our employees have just wanted to do stuff and have got on with it. But it's been a big change, and you know what? We're trying to make the most of it.
What about the future of working? I mean, we're all talking about that at the moment. Do you expect to get the suits back on? Well, you've still got yours on, but do you expect to get your suits back on and return to the office in time, or are you looking at new ways, do you think, of doing things?
So correctly, we very much were a suited and booted culture, and it was all about raising the Northern Ireland ambition, narrative, the professionalism. Just because we're Northern Ireland didn't mean we couldn't compete and be as professional and better than anywhere else really globally. And we have the whole strapline local talent global stage. But this has definitely changed, and we are. I'm pretty sure I don't see us being back in offices. Our offices are open for people who want to be in offices, but if I'm honest, very few people actually want to be in office. But for those who do, they can work from the office. But my assumption is this is going to not go away anytime soon. So it's going to be a number of months, if not years. And then I think the one thing that's coming through loud and clear from our employee base is I think there will be a certain number of people who want to be full-time in the office. There'll be a certain number of people who want to be full-time at home. What I think the vast majority of people, kind of a standard bell curve distribution, are probably going to request a kind of a hybrid working engagement. And I think that means, and I haven't told them all yet, but I think I know where it's going. It's going to be tough to make someone wear a suit to come into the office, and someone can wear their jeans and t-shirt at home. So I think we may just have to adapt to this hybrid kind of work attire, and that'll be what it'll be, and people just present themselves as professionally from home or the workplace. So it's going to change, but we'll adapt, and I'm as ever, I'm very optimistic about what the future will bring, so we'll see where it'll go.
And what about the future in more general terms? Is growth still on the agenda for Fintru, and how much further can you grow?
So I think I remember you asking me that question last year and the year before, Richard, and I said I never thought we'd grow as quickly as we could, and to put things in the big picture perspective. I know you mentioned 150 people since the start of the pandemic, but we will actually have hired 300 people over the course of 2020, including we're hiring people every single day and running academies every day. So we'll be close to 700 people at the end of this year. We have been incredibly fortunate. We have gone from having 5 global investment banks to 15 over the last 2 years. We're just about to sign number 16 and 17 in the coming weeks. So I don't see any limit to our growth trajectory. In some ways, I'm using this opportunity of maybe other industries being less fortunate and less resilient through no fault of their own, just the industry they were in, versus an industry like ours, which is our clients, which are the big investment banks, are having bumper quarters. They're having record earnings. The need to transact in the securities markets has never been at a higher need. People need to move capital around the world, and if Fintru can play a role in protecting the integrity of that by a lot of our support with regulations, the sky is a limit. And I think we're also probably the one big thing that we're happening at the moment is we're undergoing a huge technology pivot. So Fintru has been rapidly hiring technology people and building products, which we then will sell. And again, that's a whole global push. So I haven't gotten out of fifth gear yet, Richard. No intention of slowing down. So I hope we will continue to grow at the rate we can, both in headcount and revenue and profitability. So we are a long way from stopping.
And what about awards, Darragh, like the ones we've been launching today? What can they do? What do they do for companies like yours in terms of PR, staff morale, or other factors? So
I think you cannot stress how important they are for staff morale, for getting a company on the map, for signaling ambition. I remember the very first Business Eye Awards that I came to as a Fintru CEO. You failed to pick us out of the hat for any awards that year, Richard, and I just vowed to myself we'd be back the year after, and as you know, we've come back with aplomb and success. Every single person at Fintru wants to win awards. I think the beauty about these awards, these are company awards as opposed to individual awards. It's all about the company and the team, and we also make sure that members of our team actually collect awards, and they feel very proud of it. So I think it really it sends a very strong message to your employees. It sends a very strong message to the broader community. It sends a message to your clients how serious and what your ambition is. So I cannot overstate the importance of these awards. 2020 obviously is not necessarily a year for awards. So that's kind of and you obviously are now talking about the awards for 2021 when we will be back to normalcy and we will be able to celebrate business success again. But I think it's hugely important, and I think the Business Eye Awards, having been a very fortunate recipient of some awards in the past as Fintra, we have definitely benefited, and I would strongly encourage any other companies. Obviously, I don't want them to beat us, but I would strongly encourage them to apply and get in the mix, because I think it gives incredible status and credence to what a company is trying to do. So I guess I just want to thank you at Business Eye and AIB as well for sponsoring what I think really are some of the preeminent business awards in Northern Ireland.
Dara, it's good to see you again, and thank you. Can I thank you for taking the time to join us today? Very much appreciated.
Brilliant. My pleasure. Thank you very much. Best of luck. Bye-bye.
Thanks also to Brian Gillan for joining us in the studio this afternoon, and thanks to all of you who've been with us online for today's virtual launch event. It's not like Britain's Got Talent. We can't see you, but we know you're there. And can I just remind everyone of the key dates? May the 13th, 2021 for the AIB Business Eye Awards, and April the 9th is the closing date for entries. And all the details, all the categories will be on businessiawards.co.uk. Thank you.